Disney Star Wars is total garbage. With the exception of some outliers, Disney Star Wars mostly produced miss after miss after miss after miss, and it seems that the misses just keep on coming because 2024 and 2023 alone has showed that Disney Star Wars is so out of touch with the fans. It's so out of touch with their own reality, and it's so out of touch with the reality that we all live in, and that is the fact that we do not want to see something that disrespects the fans, because shows like Ahsoka, Star Wars The Acolyte, The Mandalorian Season 3, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Star Wars under the Disney banner is just so disappointing that it makes me as a Star Wars fan just so sad, because we used to come from a time when Star Wars was great. We used to come from a time when Star Wars was regarded as a cultural event, a cultural phenomenon. We used to be at a time when Star Wars was praised, when Star Wars was loved, and when Star Wars was respected, not only by the fans, but by the people that were writing the shows and the movies, the people that were producing the shows and the movies, the people that were illustrating the artwork, illustrating the CGI, the people that were constructing the story and constructing the entire universe of Star Wars. But it seems that Disney Star Wars has proven that they don't give a single fuck about this universe and about this franchise. So despite hearing all of these negative things about Star Wars, despite watching all of these trash shows and trash movies about Star Wars, even though yes, they have some outliers that are good like Andor, and in the video game front like Star Wars The Jedi Fallen Order and Star Wars The Jedi Survivor, but despite all of that, I am still trying to give the Disney Star Wars a chance, because they just dropped a new show called Star Wars Skeleton Crew, and at first when I saw the trailers, I was very skeptical, I was very unsure, and I thought that this would be another miss. I thought that this would be another trash show that Star Wars produces under the Disney banner, because we are so accustomed to it. We are so used to seeing pure shit get thrown at our face by Disney Star Wars. And this show, I'll be very honest with you, I am pretty surprised that it's not ass. I am pretty surprised that this show is not boring. This show is kind of funny, but the thing about this show is mostly for kids. This show is mostly seen through the kids' perspective as they are basically living in the Star Wars universe. And one thing about this show is that the world that these kids live on is very mysterious, but I'm seeing that it's starting to spark some little controversy, because the world that these kids live on, it's like a suburban world. It's like as if you walk outside right now and you drive your car, you see the neighborhoods, you see the houses. This show feels like we are in the real world, and I'll be completely honest with you, even though this show is not total ass, even though this show is not mid, it's pretty decent, but this aspect of the show of the neighborhoods that look like they are in the real world, sometimes when I look at them, I'm like, damn, this does not feel like Star Wars. And I think that is this show's intention, because I think the aspect and the comparisons of this world and the real world, I think they did that on purpose. I think that's what the show is intended, because there's a sub story in this show that it actually goes into why this world looks the way that it looks. So I hope that they can clear this up in the later episodes. I hope that they can explain why this world's government is having this world to be looking like it's a suburbia that is in the real earth. And since this show is taking place in between the Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, it kind of makes sense as to why the Republic would want to go to almost every planet and trying to make every planet as habitable as possible, trying to make every planet feel like there is some order, feel like you can do what you want, say what you want, feel like the citizens of each world are free and they can live in harmony. So I can understand why they would want to go with the route of the Republic, actually going into worlds and making it feel like that. So that's just a big thing that you guys will see. That's the reason why I'm talking about it this long, is because you're gonna be seeing this world. It looks like the real world. Like even the bikes or the hovering vehicles that they have, they resemble cars, just like flying, floating cars, you know. And when they wait for the school bus, when the kids wait for the school bus, it's like you're watching kids waiting for the school bus in real life, you know. And even the way that the school is structured, the way that the teachers are in this world, it feels like you're watching the real life. And also, like, sometimes they say credit, but sometimes they say money. So it's like, I kind of really don't like when they say money. I like when they say credits. But let me stop talking about the way the neighborhood and the world looks like. Let me start to talk about a little bit of the plot. And the plot is kind of feels like if you're watching the Goonies, or if you're watching shows like that, movies like that. And it's like I said earlier in the video, it's more of a kid friendly story. And by me saying that, I'm talking about the perspective of the entire plot is literally through the lenses and the eyes of kids. And these kids are going on an adventure. It's basically like a pirate adventure, because in the first scene of this episode, of this series, in the first episode, we see that in the first scene, like, these pirates are invading this Republic cargo and they're looking for these credits. But when the lead captain, he now opens the vault, there is no credits there, and I think that lead captain gets killed. But the person that was mad that there was no credits there, he looked like a hybrid, like beast type of humanoid alien. So that part was interesting. But the main character, his name is Wim, and him and his friend, I forgot the friend's name, I think is Neil. They basically are going to the same school, and they basically have this big assessment test that Wim needs to study for. But Neil, he's a very smart kid as well. He's like an alien as well. So Neil, he's studying as well. But Wim, he wants to do more than this. You know, as a kid, you know, you have big aspirations to do certain things. You have big aspirations to want to be something in life, to want to be something more in life. So the kid, he wants more adventure. He wants to be a Jedi as an adult. He wants to do things that are more exciting right now. So when eventually Wim now misses his assessment and gets in trouble, he now meets another character. I forgot her name. Either it's KB or Fern, something like that. But this character, this little girl that he meets in school, she's also a troublemaker. And she actually spotted Wim and Neil when they were riding the bus, and she had the bikes. She had the hovering bikes that was going very fast, that caused Wim to actually create and to actually come up with this new motivation to do more, to see more, to be more. So this now causes these kids to eventually come together and to go find this treasure, because Wim and Neil, they actually discovered the treasure first. Well, to be honest, Wim discovered the treasure first when he missed the assessment. So he now told Neil. So both of them now went to go to find the treasure. But then the girl, I think KB or whatever, and her friend now came to intercept that. And they now both found the treasure. They now both found what they were looking for. So this story kind of plays into that. This show is not too bad. I'm still on the first episode. I'll watch the second episode later. But as far as what I'm seeing, it's definitely better than anything the Acolyte has done. The show has completely shit on the Acolyte's legacy, and we'll see if the show will shit on Obi-Wan Kenobi's legacy or Ahsoka's legacy, because I think it's better than Obi-Wan Kenobi so far. I want to say that it's better than Ahsoka so far, but we'll see how the show goes. I am indifferent about the show. I think the show is an improvement of Star Wars The Acolyte, but there's some certain things that if they clear up will make the show even better than what it is. But if they don't clear it up, the show will still go down as a disappointment to Star Wars. So I think overall the show is an improvement of previous shows. That's the end of the video. I'm out. Peace.